Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's video is about the differences between the Lord of the Rings books and movies. This beloved fantasy epic has captured the hearts of millions around the world. The books, written by J.R.R. have been around for decades, while the movies, directed by Peter Jackson, have become cinematic classics. So, let's dive into the differences between the two.
One of the biggest differences between the books and the movies is the pacing. The books are much more detailed and take their time building up the story, while the movies move at a much quicker pace to fit everything into a cinematic format. This means that some scenes and characters that were present in the books were cut from the movies entirely, while other parts were condensed or altered to fit within the time constraints of the movie.
Another major plot hole in the movie, not present in the books, is the fact that it states that the ring cannot be wielded by anyone except Sauron. This is untrue in the books, and creates a problem for the movies. If no one except Sauron can wield the ring, then Sauron knows that the only way to destroy the ring is in Mount Doom. So all Sauron needed to do was sit back, bide his time, and wait for his enemies to bring the ring to him, or ignore it altogether and wait for the elves to leave.
Another difference is the portrayal of the characters' appearances and age. In the books, characters like Aragorn and Gandalf were described as being much older and scruffier. Also in the book, Frodo was a 50-year-old hobbit and quite a bit older than the other hobbits. Additionally, some of the characters' physical appearances were changed entirely in the movies, like Faramir had brown hair instead of blonde.
In the books, Gandalf did not go hysterical about Frodo needing to leave immediately. They opined that sudden disappearance might lead to rumors flying around. The fireworks happened in April, and Frodo left 6 months later. Before leaving, he came up with a cover story of selling Bag End and moving to a small house in Buckland. This also eased Frodo's slipping out of the Shire.
While the movies generally stayed true to the book's characterization of characters like Frodo, Sam, and Gandalf, other characters like Faramir, Arwen, and Legolas were given more prominent roles in the movies. Some key characters in the books like Tom Bombadil, Radagast, Thranduil, Glorfindel were ignored in the movies.
There were some differences in the tone and themes. While both the books and movies dealt with themes of friendship, heroism, and the battle between good and evil, the books had a more somber and contemplative tone, while the movies were more action-oriented. Additionally, some of the more spiritual and religious elements of the books were toned down or left out entirely in the movies.
The movie is a bit lopsided, depicting Merry and Pippin going with Frodo just because they ran into him in the field. In the books, Frodo is accompanied across the Shire and with his flight from the Black Riders by Pippin as well as Sam. Pippin was not a fool as portrayed in the films. Pippin and Merry were helping Frodo move to the new house. They had already figured out about the ring and why Frodo was leaving the Shire.
As portrayed in the movies, Saruman is not a mere puppet of Sauron. He wants to get the ring for himself for knowledge and understanding and not for power. Saruman is depicted as more physically imposing and powerful than he is in the books. Even his death is depicted differently in the movies.
While the books touched on Aragorn and Arwen's relationship, it was given much more prominence in the movies, with several scenes dedicated to their love story. Additionally, Arwen's character was given more depth in the movies, including her decision to give up her immortality for Aragorn.
The movie left out the story told in The Scouring of the Shire. In this story, Saruman flees Ortonk and takes over the Shire. Frodo, Pippin, Sam, and Merry return, mobilize a rebellion confronting Saruman's thugs. This is also where Saruman finally meets his end, stabbed by Wormtongue. In conclusion, whether you are a fan of the books, movies, or both, there is no denying the impact that The Lord of the Rings has had on the world of fantasy and storytelling. While there were some significant differences between the two, they both managed to tell an epic story of friendship, courage, and sacrifice in their own unique ways. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.